You know something that never goes out of style? Being a volunteer. Volunteers are the lifeblood of any organization, including SCAN. We've relied on volunteers for many things over the years. Stay tuned because today you're going to meet the executive director from an organization that is really, it's the ultimate volunteer organization. And in fact, it happens to be National Volunteer Week. Stay tuned. Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to SCAN FYI. Hey, Mary Beth.
Good morning, Andrea. How are you?
I'm very good. And you know out there that we are celebrating its National Volunteer Week. So come on, we are paying tribute to all you volunteers, and that calls for a coffee toast.
Yes.
Hey, volunteers, we appreciate, right?
Yes, we are very excited.
Hot or cold, it works.
We are very excited this morning to have one of the premier nonprofits in Monmouth and Ocean County, Caregiver Volunteers of Central New Jersey, Executive Director Megan O'Keefe. Good morning, Megan.
Good morning, Megan.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. And that introduction, premier nonprofits. I feel so special over here. But
well, you deserve a round of applause.
Yeah, all of your volunteers.
I would say our volunteers deserve the round of applause. Yeah. They're the ones who do that heavy lift for us, and we wouldn't be anything without them. Truly, they're our angels. Really, that's the best way to describe them.
So why don't you tell our audience exactly who Caregiver Volunteers of Central New Jersey is all about?
Sure. So Caregiver Volunteers is a nonprofit, an interfaith nonprofit who provides supportive services to the homebound and elderly. All our services are aimed to help them age in place as a part of their community. So we help them deal with the issues and stresses around social isolation. And we do this through our amazing, wonderful, you pick any single adjective that describes awesome, through our volunteers. So we match them based on a one-on-one basis, depending on the type of service that particular senior wants, and then they go from there. So we really, we match on a variety of different factors to help them form that true connection. So they're truly buddies by the end of their match, which is something that we like to see happen and grow into. And it's really a testament that to our volunteers, or that compassion that they have. I like to say we started as a congregation of 8 churches who wanted to help families deal with the challenges of caregiving through this volunteer program. We're now a coalition of over 80 different congregations. So I like to say we are like that mobilized compassion. So
yes,
people, you feel that you want to make a difference, well, we can help you make that connection. And that's why we're here. And the volunteers and the receivers, that's the manifestation of that. And it's truly something so wonderful.
Well, I love that you're an all volunteer organization. And actually, I think I saw on your website, I'm just trying to remember the statistic, you have something like about 1,200 volunteers, something on.
So we have 1,200 volunteers. Not all are active right now amidst the pandemic. We have about 600 who are active right now. A lot of our face-to-face services are suspended, but we're hoping with everyone getting vaccinated, and as a society, we're on our way to that herd immunity, that we can resume that in-person piece. And actually, since our volunteers have gotten access to the vaccine, a lot of them are coming back, I'm happy to report. So we're like in spring fling over here with everyone calling and saying, you know what, I'm ready to get back into it. And with it being National Volunteer Week too, I'm hoping that we'll get some more calls, because we have some people who need some help.
Well, let me just say that even if only half of your volunteer force is in action, that's still pretty remarkable. I would, really, I mean, Mary Beth, we should be so lucky at SCAN. That's fantastic. But you know what? It is National Volunteer Week, and let's just talk, Megan, about what are some of the benefits of volunteering for people who say, well, why should I do this?
Wow. So It's funny, you think it's like the more you give, the more you get. And I think when you apply that to a volunteering, that's exactly true. And not only for our organization, there's so many other great nonprofits like yours, like Fulfill. There's some beach sweeps in my neighborhood this weekend where, there are plenty of opportunities out there. So when you look at volunteering and benefits, I want to say there's even health benefits, and like, I'm not the medical professional. We get our information from the Mayo Clinic, but even just, 2 hours a month, you can see the difference in helping you reduce stress, expanding your social circles. I can't talk. I need some more coffee. Even you have a more specialized volunteer opportunity, you can gain some valuable skills. So depending where you're on in life, if you want to build your resume or you want to fill some extra time you have in retirement, or if you're in between your working and you just want to get the feel good on that Saturday or Thursday, whenever you have time, you're going to see those benefits. And really, as little as 2 hours a month, I think when we all look at our hectic schedules, I might be able to squeeze in 2 hours a month somewhere, even, with everything we all have going on.
And it's true. You need to find what your interests are, and there's plenty of nonprofits out there that are a good fit for you. And one of the segments of your organization is canine visits, right? So for the pet lovers out there.
Yes, let's talk about that.
Certainly. So I would say our favorite friendly visitor program is our Caregiver Canine. So if you have a friendly little furry pooch out there, as I made a joke one time, I said, our volunteers come in all shapes and sizes, and some are furrier than others. And people were not familiar with our caregiver program, so I had to backtrack and say, no, I mean the dogs. But if you have a friendly dog, we offer sometimes scholarships to get them certified as pet therapy dogs, so you can take them into the home of someone who aging or health kind of bars them from dog ownership. It's maybe too burdensome, but they still need that friendly visit, once a week. So if you are the dog lovers, and I have to say, those volunteers are some of our most dedicated, both owner and pet, I should say. They're two different volunteers. It's funny when they come around our beautiful little pooches, everyone just says hi to the dog, and I'm like, well, the owner is standing right there.
We ignore the owner. We go right to the dog.
They're so used to it and accept it so gracefully. But that's one of our truly and most touching visits, when you see that connection that can be formed between man's best friend, if you will.
Absolutely.
Well, what are some of the other programs that you have beyond? You have the Caregiver Canines. I mean, so in case people are, people could be looking to use your services because they're homebound, or people might be interested in volunteering. So if you are a homebound person, let's talk about, because you'll go grocery shopping. There's many things that you guys will provide.
So right now, our active services are transport to medical appointments, and that includes your appointment to your vaccine. And in some cases, we can schedule your appointment for your vaccine and provide the ride both ways, which is really cool. Food shopping, both in person and online. I know online's a big one now, so we can, if you're not savvy using the computer, or you're really savvy and you want to help someone shop, that goes for the receiver and volunteer. We can help you out with that. Our Caregiver Canines, they are doing visits outside, which is great. We have a respite, an Alzheimer's respite program. So if you're a caregiver caring with a loved one with a chronic illness or Alzheimer's or some form of dementia, we are offering in-person visit to that with that right now, with a ton of different safety measures in place following our local health department and CDC guidelines. And then we're hoping that we can start our companion visits again outside as the weather gets nicer and as people become vaccinated, which is really, really great. It's also important to note we try to do the best job of providing a service that's right and a match that's right with everyone. So we have over 27 different languages represented in our database of volunteers. So
Wow.
if your loved one, English is not their first language, which is in the case of many of the families that we work, we've been really good at being able to match making that linguistically appropriate match so they can still receive services, which is great. And when we can, we like to provide services vet to vet, because we know that bond and that intergenerational bond is really so important and something that both the volunteer and the receiver get so much out of, which is really great and touching. And we do some celebrations around those veterans holidays as well.
So we'll just remind everyone, as we always do, we'll put in the links on Facebook and YouTube. If you want to reach out to caregivers, if you would love to be a volunteer, remember it is National Volunteer Week. So if you want to be a volunteer, or you or someone you know might need their fantastic services, we'll have all that information so that you'll be able to reach out to them. So you don't have to worry about memorizing any phone numbers. Now, Megan, you're moving to a different location?
Yes.
What's happening there?
So in the midst of everything, we're taking on a move, but we've actually, right now, we're located on the campus of Community Medical Center in a space in one of their Riverwood buildings. So they so graciously has hosted us for the past 4 years, but that time has come to an end. So we are moving to 201 Hooper Avenue in Toms River. So we're right across the street from Toms River South, right by the courthouses. So
okay.
we are looking forward to jumping in that and hosting some people in that new space. It lends itself better for us to have some more events. So it's a really exciting time at Caregivers. We're really excited to move, and we're right in walking distance with downtown Toms River to all of those great restaurants and coffee shops, which I think I'm a little too excited about.
I think you are.
There's nothing walking distance here, so I'm looking forward to getting out and being able to connect. We do a lot with our library system over here, so we're neighbors now.
That's great.
Very nice. What do you see, going forward for volunteering at Caregivers? You think there'll be any changes in the kind of services that people will be looking for, post-pandemic, let's say?
So that's funny you asked. That's an idea that we're tossing around here as a staff. So, as people are coming out of this extended period of isolation, we already know that there will be mental health effects that also, like, even on a good day or a pre-pandemic day, social isolation was a huge issue among so many seniors in our community. So now that you add this on top of it, it's going to be even more important for our volunteers to provide that socialization or be that bridge to the community. So, we're hoping to partner with more groups to provide these social type events and to bring them to that, and as when it's safe to bring them back out in the community. Last Friday we had our first ever Caregiver Spring Festival, where we partnered with a number of area performance groups so people could log on and see, and then we had yoga, meditation, songwriting for everyone to kind of get back in that mindset and being able to not connect as a community and with themselves. So moving forward, I think definitely we're going to try to tailor our services around being that bridge for those people as we slowly open up, as things become safe and the vaccines distributed, and we get to what our new post-pandemic normal will be. But we're optimistic.
Find out what that is, right?
Yeah, I'm optimistic. I'm an internal optimist. So that's kind of where we're headed over here. But our volunteering now to be onboarded, we'll continue to do that completely virtually, whether in a pandemic setting or not. So really, a lot of times it's never been easier to get started. The first step is the hardest, and we've tried to make that first step as easy on anyone who's interested or even finding out more information. You can do it all from the comfort of your own home.
And as a volunteer, I think it's fair to say you will get even more than you give. You know,
That's what they tell us.
and I think part of it is, you know, just being a good human being. And we obviously there's a lot of good humans out there, and many of them are part of your organization, just judging by the number of volunteers that you have. So that is really, I like knowing that so many people are so willing.
You know what? It's times like these, in times of crisis, there are always people who are willing to help, and you just have to find those people. And it seems like they flock together, which is really great. And we've been, I cannot say enough to the resolve of our volunteers. Even through the pandemic, we had to shut down for a few weeks until we determined the best way to keep everyone safe. They were calling, what can I do? How can I help? Said, sit tight, make some calls for us, do these check-in calls, you know, but just that willingness to be a part of a solution. And that's what volunteering in any form is like, no matter if it's for our organization or another. It's really, you know, everyone coming together to be a part of a real solution in your community.
Well said.
So what are you waiting for out there? It's National Volunteer Week. Make a phone call, become a volunteer. Do something good for the community, and you'll be doing something very good for yourself. It's win-win, right? It's win-win. All right, well, Megan O'Keefe, the Executive Director of Caregiver Volunteers of Central Jersey. It's a mouthful. Thank you so much for being our guest today. And I hope you learned a little bit about volunteering, the benefits, and it's a good thing to do. And you'll have the phone number, and I suggest you make that first call, all right? So remember, if it's important to you, it's important to us. I'm Andrea Tarr. We'll see you next time on SCAN FYI. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you, Megan.